So I had probably a phase like in my later teenage years where I didn't really lean into any of that for a little while. And then in college was where that kind of had like a radical shift of at the end of high school, I essentially got kicked out of my house. I wanted to leave and then chose to go it was for homecoming. I chose to go to a homecoming dance when I was grounded instead of go home after the football game. And
That'll do it.
And it was like, well, I guess I had a note that was like, well, I guess you've chosen that you're a big boy now. Like, you get to do this. And I was like, well, cool. So my buddy that dropped me off, I was like, hey, man, I need to go to your place. I need a place to stay. So I moved in with a friend of mine. His family was like, you're still going to go to school. I was working for them at the time. I did plumbing when I was in high school for their company. And so they're like, you'll still work for us. You could live here. You could do all this, but you're still going to go to school. This isn't some bullshit. You don't get a free ride here. It's none of this. And I was like, yes, ma'am, you got it. And like went there. Everyone probably thought I was going to flunk out and do all this. And she was like, we don't play any of that bullshit around here. She's like, you hang out with Matt. I'm not going to let Matt do that. I'm not going to let you do that. And I was like, yep, you got it. So kicked out of that house living with them, then went to college. Then ended up getting kicked out of that house, and I'm like stuck solo at college. It's spring break. The cafeteria's closed. I got no food. So a friend of mine, Jeremiah, I'll remember Jeremiah for the rest of my life. Jeremiah and his brothers are like Boys to Men, the Christian version. They would get together. They sing. I would literally just sit there to listen to them sing. They were amazing. He was one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And during that week, he was one of the only ones there. It was me and him still on campus at the place. And I'm like, running low. Like, I was a college athlete at the time, so I didn't have a job. Like, you don't have time to do all that. So I'm running out of gas. I'm living off of like ramen noodles and a few Pop-Tarts that I have left in my friggin' room in order to make sure that I'm gonna survive. And Jeremiah keeps coming by my room and he's like, are you okay? Like, I'm just checking in on you. Is everything okay? And I'm like, dude, I'm fine. Leave me alone. Like, dude, you know, it's that thing where it's like, don't worry about me. Like, the protective mechanism goes up, and I'm like, dude, I'm good. Thanks, I appreciate you. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming by, And then one time he like breaks me down, and then I'm telling you the stuff that guy told me. I'm like, there's no way that you would know that unless there's a God that has to exist.
Wow.
Like, there has to be something here. So I'm like, okay. So in that moment, I'm like, I don't know what else to do. So I was like, I don't know what this prayer thing is, but I guess I'll just pray. And so I was like, I don't know what to do here. I got no money. I don't have any of this. And I reached out to my stepmom, who I hadn't seen them in a while, and was just like, hey, just kind of told her the situation. She calls me back an hour later. She says, hey, just so that you know, we're going to come get you. Your dad's already on his way to come get you. He rented a car. He's on his way out there. He's going to come get you. We're going to get you gas. We're going to come bring you back here to stay with us for the weekend. And I was like, okay, cool. And I'm like, what? Like, y'all, I haven't seen y'all in forever.
Thought you hated me?
Yeah. It's not that they hated me. It's just like, I haven't been around.
Yeah.
Like, that for me was like, that's what love of a parent is like. It's just like, you do whatever you need to. Like, when your kids need you, that's when you show up. When someone that you care about needs you, that's when you show up.
That's a little traumatic in high school to get kicked out of your house, right?
It is. It was like all
that was like
sort
permanent.
Yeah, it was very much like a.
Or were you kind of like, okay, you said I'm out. I'm never out. I'm never calling for help. I'm gonna make it on my own.
Yeah, I didn't. I was just like, I guess I'm gonna figure this thing out. Which again, for me, solo, not a good idea. It's that lesson of like, I don't do well solo in this.